The French Revolution took place from 1788 to 1799 and shook Europe to its core. Of the numerous revolutions of the 18th and 19th centuries, this was perhaps the most significant and notable, and has created legends in both myth and reality. It was brutal and chaotic at times, but played its part in advancing human society in both Europe and the world. The historiography of the revolution is much disputed, so this brief video will highlight some of the main events. The causes of the French Revolution mirrored other revolutions. Feudalism had been eroding as wealthy merchants became more powerful, and many peasants began to own some of the land on which they worked. These groups wanted the prestige that came with their newfound relative wealth. The population had also grown considerably due to improvements in health and the production of food and better standards of living. This increased population put a strain on civil society. The Enlightenment and its ideas of freedom and liberty had spread prior to this time, and politically abundant crises caused by excessive taxation created the perfect foundations for revolution. The French monarchy was unable and unwilling to adapt to these factors, and it led to its downfall. In May 1789, the first Estates General since 1614 was called and swiftly converted into the National Assembly, which expanded voting rights and did away with feudalism and state control of the Catholic Church. These actions were carried out under great duress and opposition from the king, who even raised troops in the hope of dissolving them. But the storming of the Bastille on July 14, 1789 by a Parisian crowd led to him making further concessions. There was a lot of political unrest and struggle over the next years, which was compounded by the French Revolutionary Wars that began in April 1792, as the other European states such as Prussia and Britain were disturbed by events taking place in France and sought to put an end to it in the hope of dissuading their own populations from being inspired to do the same. Louis XVI was finally executed in January 1793, following the establishment of the First French Republic on the 22nd of September 1792. The Committee of Public Safety under Maximilien Robespierre was created to deal with the unrest, and the Reign of Terror began, where over the next year and a half 16,000 people were executed for being counter-revolutionaries. The Directory took over following the terror, and led the war to successes, but failed to improve the economy or create domestic peace, so it was therefore replaced by the Consulate in 1799. As a result, Napoleon was appointed as First Consul in November 1799, which marked the end of the revolution. It has had a profound impact on society, for it effectively ended feudalism and began the course for the development of individual freedom. It made the world question the authenticity and validity of monarchy, questions that amazingly are still being answered to this day. Thanks for watching this 4-minute history on the French Revolution, and please look in the description below for books and movies you should check out for a more detailed and nuanced look at all things associated with it. If you found that interesting, you may be interested in another 4-minute history on an array of topics throughout human history. And finally, please don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and see you soon.